Get Brexit done.
Slogan, get Brexit done. And to a nation exhausted by 3.5 years of trade talks and treaties, the notion of simply getting it over with clearly appeals. Johnson secures a landslide victory with 365 seats to Labour's 203. When Johnson manages to renegotiate Theresa May's failed deal and get it passed through...
Fun fact, Boris Johnson also pledged to invest in the NHS. Another thing to remember in this entire process, as in even the Conservatives at that point had recognized that, yes, the Tory austerity measures were killing people, okay, and were genuinely unpopular. Just, you know, did he do that? No, he didn't do that. Of course he didn't do that.
It appears that Britain is firmly exiting its Brexit era. The consequences will certainly be felt for years to come, but the political wranglings at least begin to die down. And they do so just in time for a new challenge to appear in the form of COVID-19. First comes several weeks of watching the
West Streeting defends Labour plan to use private sector to cut NHS backlog, by the way. Exclusive. Failure to do so would betray working class people, Shadow Health Secretary says. It's coming home, lads. He's also a transphobe. Brother, he's British. What do you mean? Like... That's like saying he also, hey, by the way, Hasan, I don't know if you know this, but he has a funny accent. Like, yeah, I know. He's British, okay? Like, telling me that a fucking British member of parliament or I do admit that the shadow secretary positions are like a very cool name. But like, yeah, he's a British MP, dude. Of course he's a fucking TERF. The fuck? That's a given. It's a requirement to be on the far right. This is not the far right. This is Labour. I understand your mistake for thinking that he's on the far right because you read the statements that he made and you thought, oh, this is a classic Tory move, privatizing the NHS. The problem is he's Labour. He's the Labour guy for the NHS. Anyway.
Infection spread through China and Europe. Then, on the 30th of January 2020, the first 2 cases of COVID-19 are documented in Britain. Public health measures are introduced slowly at first. Reminders to wash hands, bans on large gatherings, mandated quarantine for people arriving in the UK from certain high-risk countries. Then, on the 23rd of March, Boris Johnson appears on national TV to announce a nationwide lockdown. Johnson had initially been pretty sceptical about invoking such a measure. Ever the Conservative, he was worried about the impact that shutting everyone in their houses might have on business. He briefly considered actively allowing the disease to spread across the country to build so-called herd immunity through infection. Nevertheless, with deaths rising exponentially, doing nothing eventually becomes untenable. With everyone stuck inside, glued to the TV, it's perhaps only right that politics becomes a bit of a soap opera over the next few months. First, Johnson himself contracts COVID, and swiftly goes...
Yeah, my controversial position on this is that they fucking cooked our boy, okay? They cooked our boy on some bullshit. But that is the power that British media has. It is literally like... I mean, COVID also cooked our boy. He almost died, but that's besides the point. Albeit very funny. It's just so funny that like this man, this monstrous piece of shit, was taken down for his tendency to have little parties, little gatherings at a time when he was telling people, you can't do that actually. Like, Gavin Newsom is stronger than ever before. And he was doing he was going to wineries and shit, okay, during COVID and hosting fucking orgies, okay? And this man was taken out for his little parties.
Being entirely unconcerned by the disease to lying in an intensive care unit in St. Thomas Hospital. Then, this guy, Johnson's chief advisor, Dominic Cummings, gets caught out for having broken lockdown rules by visiting his wife 5 hours away whilst displaying COVID symptoms. Amid these controversies, Johnson's allies in the Conservative Party find numerous ways to use the pandemic to funnel money into the wallets of their friends. It quickly becomes apparent that the country's National Health Service is going to need a whole load of additional masks, aprons, and other protective gear. Johnson & Co. thus leveraged this urgency to suspend anti-corruption laws around government outsourcing. Billions of pounds worth of public money is handed over to the friends and acquaintances of government ministers, in some cases in return for equipment which is entirely unusable. Whether through illegitimate means or not, protecting the interests of business...
Just comically evil shit, dude. Just fucking comically evil shit. Okay? Cummings' excuse for driving was that he was testing his eyesight. I love British politicians getting caught doing some shit. And like, because their answers are always the funniest answer. They never even just go, yeah, I fucked up, my bad. They literally always have an excuse. And the excuse is like a Rube Goldberg device. Like it is literally like they have like a whimsical gadget that they comprise in the form of an argument. Like Prince Andrew. Oh, I couldn't sweat. Oh my God. Effing again. Okay, we're back. It was a mini baby F. MI6 is up my ass, mate. It's a mini F, yeah. As I was saying, Prince Andrew gets caught. What does he say? Well, I can't sweat. It is impossible for me to sweat. That other guy got caught watching porn. What did he say? Oh, I was looking at tractors. Looking up tractors in an adult website. Popped up while looking at tractors. It's like, it's great. Very creative stuff.
Brings at the top of the government's agenda throughout the pandemic. Efforts to keep things ticking over financially are led by this guy, Rishi Sunak. Remember him from the beginning? When the first national lockdown ends in summer 2020, all sense of caution is thrown out of the window in favour of getting things back to normal as soon as possible. In August, Sunak launches a scheme called Eat Out to Help Out. This sees the government subsidising meals bought in restaurants to encourage people to get out of their houses and support the hospitality sector. And people go for it, gobbling up 160 million state-subsidised meals between them. This might be good for Nando's and Pizza Express, but it's less good for anyone who wants the pandemic to be over. Sunak's scheme contributes to a near doubling of cases during that month. And very quickly, all the progress made throughout the first lockdown appears to be in vain, as cases begin to rise exponentially once more.